Bernadette and the rest of the family had every opportunity to come see mom and to work out a way to visit mom without there being any drama. Because every time Bernadette came or anybody, they started a fight with me and tried to call the cops to put me in jail so they could take over the house. It happened every single time at my house, at the hospital, every single time. The cops were involved because they they wanted to use my background as an excuse that I was a violent person, and they can easily take mom away if I'm in jail. They try to do it in the hospital. They try to sneak into the hospital without me knowing and telling the hospital to keep me away because I was abusing mom so they could buy them time to get the hospital to sign a power of attorney so they could take mom. Well, their plan didn't work. Their plan failed 3 or 4 times. And the last time they did it, um, it had to do a lot with my mom. How that happened was they decided to play mind games with my mom. They knew how much my mom loved them and her grandkids and everybody, and she missed them. So, what they did was they stayed away. They didn't call. They didn't make no effort to talk to mom on the phone or anything. So, mom started getting depressed, and she would cry and tell me that she misses them and why do they have to do this. And I said, mom, um, it's hard for me to reach out to them because of how they are. So I my hands are tied. You know, they refuse to get along. They only want to take you away so they can be your caregiver and take your disability and keep it for themselves while you live like a little mouse in a little box. That's how they were going to treat you. And they don't know your medications. They don't know how to take care of you when you get sick or get a UTI like you're prone to because of your condition. It's not because that'll keep you clean and healthy. It's because it's just how your body is. It's susceptible to getting sick, pneumonia, and all that. So it's a lot of responsibility to take care of you, and I've been doing it for 5 years. So what happened was on December 31st 2015, my mom had 103 fever, and I said I gotta call the ambulance because when your fever's 103 you have to go to the hospital, and I'm only looking out for my mom's best interest. So I called the ambulance, and they checked her fever, and it was 103, and they said your mom needs to go to the hospital. And I said I'll follow you. So I had taken my sleep meds. I took some Seroquel, so I was half out of it. I wasn't I shouldn't have drove, but I drove like I was drunk, and I was following the ambulance to Albuquerque, and I was swerving because I kept wanting to fall asleep. And when we finally got to the hospital safely, they put my mom in the ICU, and I was there, and I was falling asleep. And my mom said, "Mijo, go ahead and go home, and I'll see you in the morning." So I said, "Okay, mom." So I went downstairs in the lobby, and I was laying on the chairs, and I fell asleep. And then the security came and they shoved me and says, "You got to leave the premises." I said, "Why?" You got to leave. And I said, "What's going on?" So I called the nurse, and I said, "Why are they kicking me off the property?" They said, "Just go home, get some rest, and come back in the morning." And I got scared. So I said, "What's going on?" And I knew Bernadette has something to do with it. So I went home, fell asleep, woke up early in the morning, and I said, "I better get over there." So when I showed up, Bernadette and Cecilia were there already, and there was security. And I was like, what are you doing here? And then Cecilia started screaming, and then, security, security. And then I went into the room, and I saw the nurse, and I asked her, what's going on? And she nodded her head, she don't know. And then Mom started slurring her words, saying, they want me to go to California, and you can have the house, and I guess, and I'm going to go with them. And I said to the nurse, did you give my mom some pain pills? And they said, yes, we did. And I said, you guys should know on her records that she has liver, kidney, renal failure, and she can't digest these pills. That's why she's drunk the way she is. She's high. And she says, oh, I'm sorry. And that's when Cecilia and Bernadette started screaming and yelling, get out of the room, get out of the room. And security was like, you need to come with us. And I said, I don't have to go nowhere. I'm the power of attorney, and I'm my mom's caregiver. So the nurse said, Mario, let's just calm things down and go out of the room, and we'll fix this. I shouldn't have done that. But when I did that, Bernadette charged at me, and me being a boxer, I'm quick on my feet. I sidestepped, and she fell on the floor because she was hoping to push against me, and I didn't let her, because I know if I would have touched her, I would have gone to jail or something. So I knew better to put my hands on her. So I sidestepped, and she fell. She fell on the floor with her hands on the floor because she was trying to break her fall. And because of her weight, she weighs a lot. And she yelled, oh, he threw me down. And the security grabbed me. They said, you threw her down, you got to leave. I said, I didn't touch her. So they kicked me off the property. They called the sheriff. I called the sheriff, and they came and talked to Bernadette first. And Bernadette had wrapped her hand up with a bandage, and she was holding it up to the police so they could see it. And they told me that they filed charges against me, and they want to get a restraining order so I can't go back in the hospital, and I can't get my mom out. And that's what they wanted. They got what they wanted, and they said you can't come back to the hospital. So I lost my way to get my mom out of there. And they used drugs to coerce Mom to go with them. So my mom wasn't in her right mind. And if you look at the paperwork they signed, it was scribbling, and my mom tried to sign it, but that wasn't her signature, and it was just a scribble. So they used that, and they took Mom to California, and I was devastated. I was so scared. I was so scared I was never going to see my mom again. I called the police. I didn't know who to call, and they couldn't help me. They said, well, your mom's not kidnapped because she wanted to go with them. And I said, she was under the influence of drugs. You can't, and she has dementia. You can't do that. They said, well, you can also file something in court, a civil matter. And I said, I don't know. I didn't have the capacity to think straight or to get things done. I was just hopeless and helpless. So that's when Bernadette started filing motions to take my property away. She filed a motion in court to become power of attorney. And when she got the power of attorney, she called my bank and told them to stop, that I was no longer the representative, and to not receive any payments from me to pay the mortgage. So June, July, August, I couldn't pay the mortgage because they denied my payment. And I said, I need to pay it because this house is going to go into foreclosure. They said, yes, it's going to go into foreclosure next month. And they said, we can't talk to you about it because you're not the representative anymore. Your sister is. So she wasn't making the payments. The house went into foreclosure. She filed a motion to be the conservator, and I forgot what else it was, in San Bernardino, and I got a summons to appear. They weren't expecting me to show up, so I showed up, and the judge told me that mom had died, and I was in shock. I was angry that they would do this to me. So he says, we can't do this because this is a New Mexico matter, not ours. So they transferred it to New Mexico. So I needed insurance money to fix the roof. The insurance granted me one payment because it cost like $10,000 to fix the roof. So I had enough money to start the framework and the plywood, not all the plywood, but I got it all up. And I asked for another draw, and that's when they said, well, you can't get another draw because Bernadette is a representative now, and you'd have to talk to her. So I couldn't call Bernadette because of the way she was trying to get a restraining order on me, so I wouldn't talk to her. She did everything she could to tie my hands, and she did it. So when she came to court, this judge, man, he did not like me. I guess it's because he heard everything about me, the rumors about me abusing my mom, and he had an attitude towards me. And I didn't send the subpoenas the right way. I mailed them, and I didn't know who, and I didn't have the money to pay for the subpoenas, so I mailed them. And they came to court the day of the hearing. And my question is, how did you know the day of the hearing and you show up to court saying that you didn't get a notice? You got the notice in mail, but you happened to just show up in court and tell the judge that you didn't know there was a hearing today, but you showed up to court anyway. And the judge says, okay, Mario, you're no longer the representative. Your sister's a representative. And he literally gave her a gift. He gave her my house. I couldn't fix the house. She wouldn't file a claim so I can finish the roof. The addition to the house is destroyed. It's got mold. The drywall is damaged. The ceiling is damaged. Everything is damaged. The electrical, everything I built got destroyed. $15,000 got destroyed. Okay? So I wasn't able, and then the sewer messed up. The sewer and the plumbing messed up. The pipes were busting, and I needed help to fix it. And I told my attorney to get them to help me. He said, she's not answering. She won't do anything. So I had to fix it myself. I had to pull money out of my pocket, and I didn't get paid for it. She didn't file a claim so I can get reimbursed or anything. And it was either fix the house or move out. And that's what she was trying to do. Trying to push me out of the house so she could come in to New Mexico and pay the mortgage that I'm paying. Compared to her, she's got to pay over $1,000 a month for her rent in California. And you know how expensive it is out there. So she wanted to come plant her butt on my property, kick me out, and say, look at what I did to you. You're going to pay. You're going to suffer for making my life. How did I make your life miserable? So that's her mentality, is to make me suffer, put me through hell, and because she didn't know how to take care of my mom, and my mom died. And for the fact that she didn't tell me that mom was about to die, or they buried her, and for me to find out this way has caused so much emotional damage that I'm suffering. I have dreams at night that I'm going to see my mom. I'm going to talk to her, and I have plans to go see my mom. And in my dream, my mom's alive, so I go to see my mom, and I wake up and I I said, Mario, she's dead. And that reality hits me that my mom is dead. I start to cry and I'm devastated. And I'm like, please, mom, come back. And I have these dreams almost every night that I lost my mom. And only in my dreams I get to see her. I don't get to talk to her, but I get to see her in my dreams. And I have to wake up to the nightmare that she's passed. And I've given up hope. I lost everything that I lived for. I live with regret because of my drug addiction that I had and what I put my mom through back in the 90s. I have a lot of regret, but I'm thankful that I was able to prove to my mom that I could change. I could defeat this addiction of drugs, and I did that. To this day, I don't do drugs. I did start drinking again because of my depression. Sometimes I would get so drunk that I would get sick. So I have about a week sober. I think I got it out of my system because I filed this lawsuit, and I couldn't do that if I was drinking. I go to counseling. I go to therapy for my mental wellness, and I just need help. I can't retaliate and go over there and take the law into my hands, because that's what Bernadette wants. She wants me to go back to jail. She wants me to go to prison. She wants to laugh at me and tell everybody how she destroyed me, and I can't allow that to happen. Her hatred and how she spread it to the rest of the family to show their hatred towards me. I try to call everybody. They won't answer the phone. They'll call my attorney and tell Mario to stop calling and harassing me. And they have no right to do that because they don't know the facts. All they go by is what Bernadette says. And so they made a choice to back her up. They backed her up in court. They wrote letters. Mary Lou, she stood up in court and told the judge, he beat my mom. And the judge told her to sit down. And she wouldn't sit down. And he said, sit down now. And he told Bernadette to quit chewing gum. And but that's what they do. Their only defense is he beat my mom without no evidence, none of them. So they have to lie. Oh, I saw him hit mom. That's a damn lie. If I hit mom, if I abuse mom in front of you, why didn't you call the damn cops? You could have. I would have. If I saw someone touch my mom or yell at my mom, I would have called the cops, if not hurt you. You don't talk to my mom, you don't abuse my mom, you don't hurt my mom. Because you got me to deal with. So if I feel that way, I know everybody else feels that way, because mom is the most precious thing in our family that brings us all together. But it couldn't bring us together because everybody was jealous that I had her, that she chose me out of everyone. The black sheep, the drug addict, the convict. She chose me, not them, me. And I was honored to come back. It was my privilege to take care of mom, because I owed her. I owed her that because of what the shit I put her through. I owed my mom that. And they didn't like it. They were jealous, spiteful, and hateful. And it had to be, we got to destroy Mario. He's got to go to prison. How dare he? This ain't about him. You made it about me. You called the cops on me. You called my job. You called the mayor. You called the chief of police. You called my neighbors. You harassed me to the point where nobody talks to me because they think that I abused my own mother. And I guarantee you, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to put my faith in God and the judge to see for themselves. Finally, I get to tell my story, because that other judge wouldn't let me speak. He told me to be quiet. When I asked to speak and let my brother speak on my behalf, Abel, He wouldn't do it. My attorney wouldn't do it. So I can't use that attorney for nothing. So I have to do my best to plead my case to this judge. And hopefully they'll see the truth. They'll see who's lying. And you'll see the composure they have, their drama. They're going to want to start crying, and hopefully you start feeling sorry for them. Oh, Your Honor, he put us through so much hell. Oh, we love our mom, and Mario kept her away from us. He held her hostage. Bullshit. Bullshit, man. You could have been above that. You could have been above that. Talk to me decently, civilly, and say, okay, Mario, you take care of mom. We're going to support you. We're going to go over there and help you any way we can. And we're going to be a happy family because that's what mom wanted. We're going to give you that because we want mom to be happy. Nope. Mom cried every night. She missed you guys. It made it harder on me. You made me out to be the bad guy because mom had a resentment towards me because she couldn't talk to you guys, and you used that against me. You used that against me, and you got your way. And you know what? You didn't care about what my mom's feelings were. You didn't care about the damage you were doing to me. It was harder for me to find a caregiving job because I needed to care for mom 24, like you said, she needed 24-hour care. And these caregiving, they could only do 4 hours a day. My mom's insurance couldn't pay for it. So I worked for mom 4 hours a day, and the other 20 hours was on my time. And I was willing to do that. So I only got paid 4 hours a day. It wasn't a lot of money. But with my job to be there 24 hours a day and get paid for 4 hours, along with my mom's Social Security, we made it happen. We were able to pay the bills, and we got qualified for modification of the loan on the house. And I was 1 month payment away from making my last payment so they can modify the mortgage loan and give it to me. And Bernadette stopped that. She stopped it by calling the bank and saying she's a representative now. I'm not. Don't accept no money from him. Why did you do that? Why? You didn't have to do that. You got mom, but you wanted everything. And that judge gave it to you. So this is my only way to fight for what's mine and have you pay for all the damage and all the harassment that you put me through. You put me through hell. Okay? I could have been a lot better. The house would have been fixed and everything. I would have had a nice life. I wouldn't be in this situation right now if it wasn't for you. So this needs to come to an end, and the only one that's going to put it to an end is the law. I'm asking for justice. I could have done anything Bernadette wanted to. I could have went to California. I could have got arrested. I could have gone to jail, and that would have just gave her the greatest gift because she hates me so damn much. But I wasn't going to give her that pleasure. I had to keep my wits together and say, no, Mario, the best thing you can do is, do the legal way and let the law handle it. So I haven't given up on the law. All these court cases that we have, so many court cases. Every time I want to file a lawsuit, I had a roadblock. But this time, when I filed a lawsuit, hopefully the courts will hear my story and see what conspired or whatever transpired from all this, that they could see why they did it. Because Bernadette wants to sell the house for $82,000. It's worth about $35,000. I lost $15,000 of my own money fixing the house. I lost that. I'm not going to get it back. No one's going to get paid because she can't sell it for that much. If she sells it for what it's worth, nobody gets nothing. The bank gets it. And I'm trying to prevent that because I have a place to live. It's the memories that only me and my mom have, nobody else. It's my safe haven. So what if the house got destroyed? I have a place to live and I can fix it in my time. I won't leave the house and live in some little apartment, and then my life is just going to go down the drain because I'm going to suffer from depression and anxiety and anger because she got away with it. She's an evil person, and yet she goes to church and raising her hands saying, "Thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord." And look at what she does outside of the church. Do you guys pray? If you do, who do you pray to? I know it's not God.